Hey Trent, Nick Wagner from ESPN here. I just want to know how much you're looking forward to reuniting with Kyle Shanahan. And I know obviously it was up to the Redskins to trade you, but how much was this a desired destination for you throughout this?
Yeah, to answer your first question, I'm extremely excited to get back in the building with not only Cal, but a ton of those coaches in there who was with me for my first 4 years of my career. So, it's going to be a happy reunion. But yeah, to answer your second question, this was a preferred destination of mine just because of the familiarity I have with Cal and the offense. And I mean, obviously being an ascending team, I felt like I'd fit right in.
Hey, Trent, my name is Matt Mayoka from NBC Bay Area. Two things. First off, there was a report that you vetoed a trade to Minnesota. Can you respond to that? But also, after that, as far as what you can bring to the table 7 years after being in Kyle's offense, what makes you a good fit in your eyes for what Kyle does?
Okay. As far as the trade goes, I was not necessarily no veto from me. I think the Vikings long term and what I looked at long term, it didn't sync up. So, they just really dropped out. It wasn't me refusing to go. But as far as what I feel like I can offer to this offense, I think the reason I was drafted to Washington is the way that me and this offense kind of marry up with my skill set. So I think, that's still the same. So I think it's a hand in glove fit. And obviously, I kind of know this offense like the back of my hand.
Hey, Trent, this is Cam Inman. Welcome. Speaking of just the offense, how closely did you pay attention to last year's run? And have you reached out or what's the extent of contact you've had with Jimmy Garoppolo?
I watched, last year I had a lot of time to sit and watch a lot of football. And, obviously with the success of this team, it was on prime time a lot. So I watched a ton of 49ers tape. And me just being so familiar with the whole coaching staff. And, I just always kind of felt like an extended part of the family. So, I always had a biased view when I watched the games, obviously going for Kyle. So I watched it closely, and I haven't had a chance to touch base with Garoppolo. I've talked to a few guys on the team, but obviously with the way things are now, we hadn't had a chance to formally meet.
Hey, Trent, this is Eric with the San Francisco Chronicle. I don't want to put words in John Lynch's mouth, but he seemed to indicate you were kind of wanted to take a wait and see approach as far as the contract extension, and maybe that was for both sides. But can you explain? Did you have a desire to have an extension with the 49ers? What's been your approach to that?
I think from what I heard from the question, it was kind of going in and out. But as far as the contract wise, I feel like we both agreed on that. With me, we can't just take a wait and see approach. It's my last year of my deal. Obviously there's an incentive for me to play well. And, obviously they had to, give up a third round next year. So, they kind of invested in the deal as well. So I think both parties are interested in something long term, but I'm more than okay with kind of just getting my feet wet and just playing it out.
Trent, this is Chris Biederman from the Sacramento Bee. I'm curious where you're at currently, location-wise, and what you've been doing to stay in shape.
Well, I'm in Houston, Texas, and luckily, me and Adrian Peterson, we own a gym out here, so staying in the gym has been pretty easy for me, But it's one of the silver lining in this whole deal.
Hey, Trent, it's Josh Dubow from Associated Press. For you, what are the biggest challenges joining a new team when you don't have an off-season program and are dealing with being away in terms of like building chemistry and things like that? How challenging is that going to be, not having this off-season?
Under regular circumstances, I think it'll be extremely challenging. I think it'll be, next to impossible to be as effective as you want to be without having a proper off season. But, being in this case that I literally can go line up in that huddle and go run a play today. That's how familiar I am with the offense. I don't think, there's any – the learning curve is, a lot shorter.
Hi, Trent. Jennifer with NBC Sports Bay Area. Congratulations.
Thanks.
The 49ers had a lot of history with Richard Sherman before he became a member of the team. You have a little bit of history with him. He reached out on Twitter and said he'd like to have a little rematch. Can you talk about, what that would mean to be, what it means to be on the same team with him?
Well, I know a lot of people don't know this, but me and Sharon, we talked that night after that incident, and we kind of buried the hatchet then. So, it's we since then built a good relationship over the past 7 years, and he's one of the guys I talk to, a lot, in the off season, see him a few times. So, we've been good friends for a minute. So that's kind of happy to be on the team with him.
Hi, Trent. This is David Lombardi from The Athletic. Talking about your workouts with Adrian Peterson, I've seen some videos online. I'm just wondering how those are going. And Kyle Shanahan mentioned that he thinks that the year not playing last year would actually help you and make you fresher and be more ready to play. Is Kyle right, and how are those workouts going?
Yeah, Kyle's 100% right. It's crazy, being 31, I feel like, like I'm 25 again. Obviously it's my first year off of football since the second grade. So, it's like 25 years of straight football, every August. So, body has had a chance to rest, has had a chance to heal. I don't know if I've ever been in a position where I didn't really feel the ache or pain, just going through all-season training. So, I feel rejuvenated, to say the least. But as far as working out, obviously that's a staple of mine. I feel like that's what has allowed me to play through some of the injuries I've been able to play through. I feel like that has continued to allow me to grow as a player. So, I'm always heavily invested in sharpening my tools in the offseason.
Trent, Jason Dumas, Cron 4 Sports, congratulations. Now, I chatted with your agent Vincent earlier today, and he was talking a lot about your competitiveness. How important was it for you to go to a team that had legit championship aspirations like the 49ers, a team that seems to be in a championship window right now?
It was extremely important for me, just being at this point in my career. I've played a lot of football and haven't won a lot of games, and I just wanted that to change. I'm an ultra competitive guy regardless, and I tend to probably go the extra mile when I shouldn't. But doing that when you know that at the end of the year you have a real possibility of holding up the Lombardi Trophy, I think it makes you it's a lot easier. The vibe is different. You work for a different reason, as opposed to just trying to maintain a level of elite play, knowing that, games might not go your way every Sunday.
Trent, Nick Wagner from ESPN again. You mentioned some of the pros of being able to get your body healthy and all that, but how difficult was it to be away from the game and just being around teammates and things like that over the last year plus?
It was extremely difficult. It was extremely difficult. Like I said, it was my first time in over 2 decades that I wasn't in a locker room in August. So it was definitely a turning point in my life. Like, it's just taking one of the most important things away. But, it is what it is. I think it made me stronger. I had a lot of chance to sit back and I had a lot of time to sit back and watch the game from afar, just to get a different perspective on it. And you gain a different appreciation for it.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Oh, hey, sorry. Anthony Flores with NBC Bay Area. You know, Joe was such a pillar around the 49ers franchise. Is there any added pressure coming in and trying to kind of fill his shoes? I know you're already an established Pro Bowl player yourself, but any pressure coming in and just trying to build and build off what he's already established here on that offensive line?
No, I don't really feel the pressure. You know, Joe is an outstanding player. He has been. He's a Hall of Famer and will be. So, you know, you don't really, you know, his legacy is his legacy. You know, and I have my own, and I gotta work on mine. And I feel like me being the best me is doing the best I can do to kind of carry that torch. So that's all I can really focus on. But you know, you don't replace a guy like Joe. You know, it's one of those guys that you just kind of get used to not being there. That takes some time, and you know, and just not having that face in the locker room takes some getting used to. But you don't really, so to say, replace him. You just kind of learn to live without him, and you know, hopefully, I can just make that a little easier.
And a lot's made. No, this is Chris again. A lot's made about the 49ers culture and you know, how close the locker room is. As an established veteran in the league, what's your approach to inserting yourself within that locker room? Are you more of a lead by example type person, or are you going to come in and feel the right or feel the need to be vocal right away?
Nah. I think you guys learn. I'm not as vocal as a person as a lot of guys are, you know, especially from a leader standpoint. So, yeah, I would lean towards just leading by example. You know, kind of. I know just being in the league as long as I have, you know a ton of guys. You know, not just privy to the people in your locker room. You know, you see everybody. So, I mean, it is a new locker room, so to speak, but there's a lot of familiar faces there. So it won't take any time, you know, getting comfortable. But, you know, as far as how I would like to lead, you know, I just want to come in and lead by example. Just be the guy that's working and you know, hopefully guys work hard enough, guys to take to it and believe in it.
Trent, you're known for being an extremely athletic left tackle. Can you tell us a little bit about your game and what it is that makes you stand out at your position?
You know, God has blessed me with a lot of traits that you just can't train for. And you know, and I appreciate that, and I try to do my best to sharpen them. But you know, I'm like you said, I'm an athletic tackle, but you know, when you watch the film, you know, I can move just about anybody, you know, anywhere I want to. You know, I think I've grown a lot just learning the game more. Just playing as a true freshman and having to play as a rookie, you don't get a lot of time to sit and develop. So I developed on the go a lot, and I relied on my athleticism a lot. But now I think in this point in my career, you know, I know the game, the ins and outs. I don't have to rely on my athleticism as much because I have a plan with, you know, fundamentals going into the games now. So, you know, I'm an athletic player, but, you know, I can use my IQ to get around places I need to as well.
Hey, Trent, Kyle Posey, Niners Nation. Just speaking about the 49ers defensive line, have you had a chance to watch them? And can you just share some of your thoughts about, you know, Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, and just Dee Ford?
Oh, yeah. I watched them a lot. Like I said, I watched almost every 49ers game this past season for sure. And, you know, they're the best in the league. You know, I think what Nick has done over these past 2 seasons is, you know, pretty much second to none. You know, obviously Armstead and Dee Ford, those guys are, you know, they're elite players in their own rights. And I think the mixture of those guys, and you add in, you know, the young guy from South Carolina, Kinlaw, I think it's a deadly mixture, man. I think they're going to be harassing quarterbacks, you know, all year for sure. So, you know, I'm just excited to get a chance to get into practice and compete with those guys on a day-to-day basis because, you know, that'll definitely help me get my feet wet, you know, at a faster rate.
Hey, Trent, Anthony Flores again. Just wondering when you guys are finally able to practice and get together and come to the Bay Area, is there anything you're looking forward to seeing or doing once you actually get to the Bay Area?
I just want to get on the field, man. I can't lie. I just, you know, I've been chomping at the bit for some time. You know, I thought I kind of got my roller coaster of emotions because I did go back, you know, at the trade deadline, and you know, I was actually getting ready to play. So, you know, I kind of got that adrenaline dump, and then now just kind of chomping at the bit to be able to get on the field with a Super Bowl caliber team. Man, that's really all I can think about right now. I ain't even think about nothing else.